Good afternoon, everyone. My name's Wade Curtis, and I'm a contract brewer. I took some inspiration from the latest Mormon campaign I saw on TV, so I thought you might like that one. But yeah, so I'm here to talk to everybody about, I guess, my path to market, or as we like to say in our reality shows, my journey. I'll take you through my journey. But first of all, I think this is really important. I just wanted to take you through a couple of rules that us contract brewers live by. They're the golden rules of contract brewing. You need a mass appeal blend lager. If possible, you have to link your brand or beer to a convict, an old settler, or something to make it look like your company has some sort of heritage. And if you can use kangaroos and make it really Aussie, you can export it as well, which is even better, and the bank really likes to hear about that. So there's my next beer, Captain Cook's Hopping Roo Low Carb Lager. It's coming soon to a bottle shop near you. $12 a six-pack in a clear bottle. So that's not what I'm all about. And I guess if one of the things I can achieve today is to, I guess, smash the myths of contract brewing, because it does have a little bit of a stigma out there around, just being all about marketing and not being about good beer and substance, and that's not what I'm about. So I just wanted to get that out there straight away. So my background, I've been a home brewer for 8 years. I've got a really dodgy system at home that I just play around with, and it's nothing fancy or anything like that. I've sort of put my energy into learning about beers and learning about the flavours, and then experimenting at home, and then taking that to pilot breweries and things. The whole concept came to me. I did a lot of travel overseas, England, Canada, US, Europe, and when I came home to Ipswich, there was no good beers at all. So I thought, well, bugger this, I better make my own. So I'm passionate about craft beer, I'm passionate about real beer, and I'm passionate about, supporting craft beer through the pubs, and, especially in Queensland, and also, about getting taps and, breaking some of those contracts that are out there. We've got 2 beers, pale ale, summer wheat, and we're in 50 litre and 5 litre kegs, and maybe one day we'll actually get into bottles, but that's a bit down the track. So contract brewing, it's pretty obvious. There's a lot less costs to start up. That's why I've taken that path. It's lower risk. I don't have to, borrow to set up equipment. I'm still doing this, but you can keep your day job until your sales increase and it actually can pay the bills. And it also allows you to focus on your sales and marketing, depending on how hands-on you want to be in the brewing process. But, a big challenge is about selling your beer, marketing it, creating the brand, doing dinners and all that sort of stuff. And it's pretty full-on when you're in a business like that. So to have, I guess, some part of that business outsourced makes it a little bit easier. When you want to talk to the bank, it's a lot easier if you've got a cash flow and you've got pubs that have taps and you're selling your own beer, so it makes it a little bit easier. Probably not a lot easier at the moment, but a little bit. So I think one thing I wanted to talk about, and my background is I'm in sales and marketing and advertising. That's what I do. That's what I've done for the last sort of 15 years. So I thought I'd just give you a bit of the background of what I do and what I think about beer brands and things like that. So it doesn't matter how great your brand is, and we all know this, but you need to have quality beer. I'm preaching to the converted here, but that's really the foundation. I think as a brand you need to stand for something, whatever that might be, whether it's about being a champion in your region, real beer, local beer, no preservatives, but you need to make sure that you stand for something. And then if you've got a story, you need to tell people about that story. People, when they engage with brands, want to know about the story. They want to know why you're doing what you're doing, and they want to know all the nitty-gritty stuff about your brand and all those sorts of things. And one thing that I've had great success with has really been engaging the local press and the media. Everyone loves a story about beer in Australia, and especially if you can engage with your local press and also the beer media. That's really helpful in getting the word out there. And the favourite bit for everyone is give away samples. It's like your cheapest form of advertising. The more people you can get to try your beer, the better it is for you. So what have I learnt so far? You really have to start with a solid beer. I mean, my philosophy has been to try and start with a beer that had mass appeal, but still, beer geeks would still love it. So it's sort of having that balance around, having enough malt and hops to make it interesting for people that know about craft beer, but not so much to put, I guess, new drinkers off. And my summer wheat sort of gave me this little epiphany, which is wheat beers, in my opinion, are a great gateway beer. That's, something that I've learned. And you really have to be true to yourself. I think you need to stick to whatever you believe in. If you really think that there's a market for, extreme pumpkin beers and that's what you want to brand yourself as, you need to stick to it. But I think the important thing is you need to believe in what you're doing, and you need to be committed to that and don't waver from it, because it's very easy, I think, to move down different paths based on, getting extra sales and all that. But if you do that, you're just going to water down your brand. Expanding slowly, it's obviously, the best way to do it. I think it's hard for me personally to expand really quick. And rewarding those that support you, so that's something that I do a lot of. I love getting out to the bars and places that support me, and on Facebook and Twitter and all those sorts of things, just to get the word of craft beer out there. And as I said, like in talking about that, about social media, it's just about having that presence. It's this great form of free advertising that is out there. And, craft beer, I think a lot of people, if something's craft, it still needs to be really professional. So, if you're a craft beer brand, your labels, everything still needs to look schmick. It can't be wobbly and rubbish, because people are paying a lot of money for your product. So what's next for me? I'll keep Contract Brewing in the near future. Obviously, I want to get more taps. I want to try and bottle the beers, so I can get into some other venues, because 50-litre kegs are a little bit limiting when it comes to trying to get into smaller restaurants. And, living the dream, I guess, make a profit, and start a brew pub in Ipswich or something along those lines. So, that's me. Thank you.